Hey, Exotical darlings. This is Coco Exotical. Thank you for being here with me. Today, we're going to talk about how they're monitoring spirits because they can't compete. Do you ever have people around you, whether it be friends or coworkers or even family, that you suddenly become aware that it seems like they're always watching what you're doing, or they're trying to be around your energy so that they can siphon that energy? Sometimes you realize after they do a few weird things or say a few slick comments that they've been in a secret competition with you this entire time. A secret one-sided competition with you that you didn't even realize was a competition, because you're not competing. You're just focused on yourself. You're living your life. You're focused on your goals. You're focused on yourself. You're focused on elevating yourself across the board, whether it be your beauty, your education, your health, your career. You're focused on yourself and becoming the best version of yourself that you can be. All the while they're focused on you, and they've been spending God knows how long trying to compete with you and failing at it as well. So now they decide to remain in your energy. All of a sudden they want to hang out with you all the time. They're asking more detailed questions about your personal life and about how you do certain things. They're watching the way you dress. They're watching the way you do your makeup, the way you do your hair. They're watching what kind of hobbies you're doing, who you're hanging out with, who you're dating. All of a sudden you're the main character in their life instead of them being the main character in their own lives. And I'm not just talking about like your typical like friendship relationship conversations where you share what's going on in each other's lives and you check in and update each other about each other's lives and catch up and update about the comings and goings of your life. No, I'm talking about a deep, detailed inquiry where you start to feel a bit uncomfortable because you start thinking to yourself, well, why do you need to know every single detail about how I do my skincare routine, or every single detail about how I'm doing my makeup, or every single detail about how I spend my alone time, which coincidentally is no longer alone time because you are in my energy now. Maybe you live with your siblings or your family, or you have a roommates, and your schedules had worked out beautifully before because their days off were the opposite of your days off. So you all have time to be in your own private energy, right? Like you don't have to always be in somebody else's energy, right? Like you have the house to yourself, or you know that you're going to have a few set hours of the day where you have the house to yourself. And that's great because everyone deserves to have that time and space where they're in their own energy, where you're just in your own energy, no one else is in the house, and you can just do your own thing. So you can just hang out, do your own thing, not worry about, oh, I'm going to make too much noise because somebody else is in the house, or like I don't want to bother anyone, or I want to watch this particular TV series, but it might be too loud, or I want to use the living room, but like now they're using the living room too, so you don't really have that space and that privacy to use it because it's a shared space. So you can't do it when your family's there or when your roommates are there because, you don't have that shared space anymore. Like you don't have that private space anymore. It's the shared space, and they want to use it, and they live there too. So you can't tell them, okay, you can't use it. So you had your schedules set up beautifully where you each had time to be in your own energy because your days off of work are the opposite of their days off of work. But now all of a sudden when it's your day off and they're supposed to be at work, they're still at home. And things happen. Like sometimes people get sick. Sometimes they just need a mental health day, or they're just taking a day off, or they're taking their PTO, or like a staycation at home or whatever. And that's different because that's usually something that is discussed. Like they'll let you know, like, oh, hey, I'm going to be taking a couple days off next week, or I'm taking a couple days off in a few weeks or whatever. Like I'm not really going anywhere, but I just need some time off, and I just need a mental health day tomorrow or something. Or maybe they're actually sick and they're just like, I'm not feeling well. I'm home today, or I'll be at home this week or whatever. That's not what I mean. Like, it's not anything like that. Like, they're just all of a sudden home when they're supposed to be at work, as if they don't have a job anymore. All of a sudden they're at home and you're asking, hey, what's up? Usually work on this day. And they're like, oh, I'm not feeling well. When you haven't heard a cough, you haven't heard a sniffle, you haven't heard a sneeze, you haven't seen anything that shows that they're actually sick. But all of a sudden they're home all week in your energy when you're supposed to have that time to yourself that you were looking forward to all week. All of a sudden they're home. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm going to be home all week, just so you know. Oh, and so then you're like, all right, fine. Like you're thinking to yourself, all right, this week's a bust. Like I didn't get to have the time to be in my own energy this week. That's fine. Like I'll have that time next week. It's cool. All of a sudden, when they're supposed to be going to work next week, there's another excuse. Oh, a mosquito bit me, so I can't go to work. Oh, my scalp itches, so I can't go to work. Oh, I hit my elbow this morning. Oh, God, I can't go to work. Oh, I stubbed my toe in the corner of the table this week. This morning. I can't go to work all week. Like, it's just something. There's just some excuse for why they're complaining about, they can't go to work. So I'm like, excuse me? Like, what do you mean? All of a sudden, your job's cool. You just taken off, 3 weeks for some BS. All of a sudden, what's going on here? But the actual truth is they're not sick. There's nothing wrong with them. They just don't want to go to work because they want to stay home in your energy to monitor what you're doing. You want to monitor how I'm spending my time. You're confused about the fact that I curated my life in a way that gives me a lot of work-life balance and that gives me extra free time off so that I can focus on my own goals and my own aspirations outside of work. You're confused about the fact that I took years to curate my life in a way where I only have to work 3 or 4 days a week and I have the rest of the time off because work-life balance is important to me. So I purposefully over years curated my life so that I can work the amount of time that I want to work and still pay for all of my expenses, still travel, still put money into my high yield savings account, still put money into my 401k, still put money into my Roth IRA, still put money into my brokerage account, and still be able to live my life comfortably. I took the time and the planning to do that so that I can live the life that I want to live. But they haven't done that. So now they're confused about how it is that you can only work 3 days or 4 days a week and be able to live a comfortable life while they're working a regular 5 days a week and they're still struggling right now. That's not my problem. Figure it out. Figure it out the same way that I figured it out. Nobody helped me to figure that out. I figured it out for myself because it was something that was important to me and it was something that I wanted to do, right? So they're trying to wonder, how is she home all the time? Or how does she have this extra time to be home? And I got to be out working, what's going on? And it's okay, well, I'll tell you where your money is going and why you don't have money to do the extra stuff that I'm able to do is because all of those Amazon packages that are coming to the house every day, you got 5 or 6 packages coming in every single day. That's where your money is going, babes. If you prioritize where your money is going in a strategic way, then you won't have a problem with it. But that's where you choose to spend your money. You choose to buy a whole bunch of frivolous garbage on Amazon and get 5 or 6 packages delivered every single day at home. And then you're wondering how I'm able to curate a life for myself where my finances are balanced and where I can prioritize my work-life balance. I can prioritize myself and I can take a few trips every year, right? Because you're wasting your money on garbage where I choose to direct my money towards things like travel because that's what's important to me. And that's fine if that's not important to you, but don't be over here looking at me envious, right, when I'm doing it because you didn't prioritize your travels. You prioritized Amazon, right? So instead of trying to figure out how you can reorganize your finances and redirect money into things that matter more to you or into things that you see that I'm doing so that you can do it too, right? You're focused on siphoning my energy because you just have to know how it is that my life seems so wonderful or peaceful, right? And that's because I purposefully and specifically created my life to be as easy as possible, to be as peaceful as possible, to be as calm as possible, because my life in the past has not been that way. And they know that my life in the past has been a complete and utter hell. All right. My life in the past has been a series of tragedies and misfortunes and garbage back to back to back to back. I was stomped into the ground. Okay. And I climbed my way back up. And that's why you're monitoring my energy, because you don't understand how after everything that I've been through, and you know what I've been through, how I'm successful right now and thriving right now, and I seem to be calm and at peace, and you're not. And that's because I learned from my mistakes, right? I learned that the people that I had around me and the situations that I had around me were not leading my life into a good path. I had all these negative people around me, all these people who, because I was around them, I got the blowback from their own misfortune, right? And so I had to cut those people out of my life. I cut all those toxic, nasty, limited mindset, lack mindset, poverty mindset, victim mindset people out of my life All right. And I started surrounding myself with people who have elevated mindsets, people who have resilience, people who don't allow life to pin them down, people who aren't always complaining, people who aren't always looking for the negative in every situation, right? Have you ever been around people who it doesn't matter what good happens to them, they can find the negative in it? You'll tell them 10 positive things and they'll give you 10 negative things to combat what you just said. Right? Like that's why your life is stagnant and stale and going backwards, because you're always looking for the negative. You're always focused on the negative. You're always a victim. It's always poor me. You're always looking for a handout. You're always looking for somebody else to pull you up instead of trying to figure out how to do it for yourself. And that's why you're stuck where you are. And that's where I am where I am. Right? If you have a negative mindset and a negative aura and energy around you, then you're going to attract more negativity around you. Energy attracts energy, like attracts like. So if you have a victim mindset, then you're going to attract more people with victim mindsets around you. And you're just going to compound and pile that pathetic victimhood that your life is on top of it, and on top of each other, instead of getting out of that and doing something different, right? If the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results, what are you doing? Why are you continuing to make the same stupid decisions over and over again, and then you expect somebody else to come and clean up the mess for you? That's not how this works. If you make that mess, then clean up your own mess. Stop looking at me to clean it up for you, and stop trying to project your negativity onto me. Stop resenting me for learning from my own mistakes and changing and making better choices and changing changing the decisions that I make to do better, because you refuse to do better for yourself. You have to claw yourself out of that hole and say, no, this is not me. I'm not a victim anymore. I don't want to sit here and poor me, pathetic and pitiful. No, I'm going to get up and try to figure out how to make my life better, right? Like, I've had a lot of garbage happen to me, but it's not going to keep me down. I'm going to get up and I'm going to figure out how to improve my life. That's what I did, and they can't fathom it. They can't fathom knowing what I've been through, seeing me smiling and happy and thriving, elevating my career, elevating my self-concept, losing weight, just improving my life across the board. They can't fathom that, because they themselves know that if they even experienced a quarter of the complete and utter tragedies that I have experienced in my life, that they would be no longer. They wouldn't want to be around anymore. So they got to come and try to monitor your energy, because they're like, oh, what is she doing? I got to be in her energy. I got to siphon off of her and her blessings and her positive energy, because I can't understand how she's living such a peaceful life while mine is still full of chaos. After everything that she's been through, she's peaceful and she's happy. She's not a victim. She's not complaining. She's not crying and moaning and poor me and let me just lay in bed all day and do nothing because my life sucks. Like, get out of here. If that's what you want to do, then that's how your life is going to be. And if that's what you want to do, then stay there and leave me alone. Stop focusing on me and what I'm doing and try to bring me down into your garbage, because I've had enough garbage in my life. And I don't want any more. I said, no, I don't want any more. And so I'm going to change. I'm going to make different choices. I'm going to make different decisions. I'm going to put myself first instead of focusing on people who don't care about me at all and who only care to take from me and to suck the energy away from me. I'm focused on myself. I'm focused on becoming a better version of myself than I was yesterday. And that's what they don't understand, because their mindset's so backwards. Anyway, have you all dealt with people like this in your life, where they're monitoring your every move, they're monitoring your energy, they're monitoring what you're doing, and they just want to be in your energy, not to contribute anything to you, but to just take from you and siphon from you and to try to bring you down? You feel drained and exhausted after being around them because they just siphoned all of your energy and all of your positivity. You've got to go recharge now after being around these people. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.